perspective with Josh from Josh.
Coach Nrgy.
Aphrodite.
I'm Black Egypt. Yeah. Good to see y'all again.
Yeah, good. Hey, good seeing y'all too. You know,
Right.
It's been a heck of a week's vacation right there. Right? Yes, maybe some fun. No, possibly. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with enjoying your life right now. So this week we're going to talk about, I think, a pretty good subject. We're going to talk about, how long is too long before you jump the broom or you propose or say I do. Like, how long is too long to be committed or in a relationship with someone before you take that next big step? But I also kind of wanted to add in there a little bit too is, how long do you wait to get into a committed relationship in general? But most people, I guess you ask them that question, I guess that's different for everybody. And it just depends on the stage in life that you're in before you want to take either one of those big next steps. But I think that any big step that you take, especially when it involves someone else, I guess you want to make sure that you first are ready. Like you first are ready to tackle that next endeavor. So when it comes to, the next step, 5 years, 10 years, 3 months, is there a time date, right? Like, is there a date on it? What you guys think?
No, I don't think so. I think I don't believe there's a one size fits all date for that. I think it's different for everyone.
Yeah. It is different. To me, it's different for everyone. I think it depends on the individuals themselves. And whether or not they really have truly healed from other processes before entering into the committed relationship or the marriage. So I think I don't know if it's a time frame within that.
Yeah. So I think that question can go a lot of different ways, to be fair. Okay. Because if you know what stage in life that you're in, especially, and let's say, for instance, you're a person that just left a long-term relationship and you've been by yourself for a few years or something like that, and you're looking to get back out there into the dating world, that's gonna be an interesting transition because you've been out of the game for a while, and that means that you're used to doing things your own way, right? Like on your own time and stuff like that. So I just think that you just got to have your mind right when you want to take that next step. Because like I said, I think the biggest thing is you don't want to get into a new situation with the same mindset.
Right. And that's why I'm saying, have they truly healed from whatever process situation they've already been in to even get in another committed relationship, because you don't want to take that to the next relationship.
Yeah.
Yep. It's important to take time between relationships to make sure
Yes.
that you deal with whatever you went through from the prior relationship so you don't take it to the next.
Yeah. Hey, I know that's a real good one, right? So you over here contemplating right now, Black Egypt. I know you're gonna hit me
No,
with
I'm
something.
listening.
You contemplating something really big right now. Okay, what is it though, right?
No. I think there is a time limit. I think there's a time limit when saying I do or get into a relationship. But can y'all still see me?
No,
we can't.
Sorry about that. Okay, so I do believe that there is I got a call. Sorry. What you want me to
do? Keep talking. That's funny.
Okay, so I think there is a time limit, because some people can't wait forever, and some people, sometimes it's within, a couple of days, and it's like, okay, you're my life partner. So I think, like you all said, it does depend, but I think there is such thing as a time limit, though. That's all.
Yeah,
Oh.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah, I do.
The way that you're saying it, Black Egypt, for sure.
Yes.
'Cause, yeah, I don't agree with people needing to wait forever. I do believe that
Right.
people have their own individual set time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
is there a one size fits all for everyone? No.
Do you have set time? Do you have a particular time, or does it vary?
Well, I had a particular time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You do, like,
I ain't dating you for 5 and 10 years. I'm just not gonna do that. It's not happening over here.
I remember I was reading Steve Harvey's book. He said 90 days.
90 days was I think
They say, yeah, that's not that
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm just saying. I'm just thinking in general. I mean, I wait forever. I don't know. Can't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not waiting no
Oh,
5. I'm not gonna be your girlfriend for 5, 10, 20 years.
What do you wait forever on? Like, I'm just trying to figure out. Like, you wait.
Which part?
Both.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, man.
I was trying to figure out what are you waiting forever on?
Definitely no rest at all. No rest at all. I kind of just want to fall into it, just fall into it.
You slip.
Okay.
All right, I get it.
I'm sorry. So when you say fall into it,
okay. Here we go. I was just gonna say he slipped, but just
okay. Yeah.
So
you just slipped into the marriage, or you slipped into the committed relationship.
I'm speaking in a relationship. I'm speaking about relationship, not marriage.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not on my mind at all.
Okay.
But you do have those people that are like commitment folks. Like they don't commit. Like you have those people that just don't want to commit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And
That's true.
I think that when you discover that you're with a person that is a commitment folk, what do you do then, right? Like, do you push them, say, hey, we need this done at this time frame, or you just, what about those people? Just go with it.
I think at that time you need to make a decision for yourself.
Okay.
Because first of all, you cannot push a person into being committed to you, because they're gonna do what they want to do regardless, right? And even if they feel so obligated to be committed to you, like how committed are they really gonna be?
Yeah.
So do you want the more? So then you have to weigh your pros and your cons. Like, do you want that? Oh, I feel like I'm obligated, and then it's really dry. It's not no excitement because they just doing it just because they felt your pressure.
Yeah.
So that would be a conversation, a self-conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I want to be about I forced them to be with me. No, that's not, no.
That was shotgun wedding right there. Hey, you people be applying that pressure. This is it.
I know they do. But I don't know. Like, we've been around a minute, so when they apply pressure, what happens?
Yeah. You tuck your tail and run, or you accept it.
And most of the time, depending on the person, guess what they do when they don't want to commit? They go the other way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No. I've been in situations where I've met people who may be like 28, right, and want to start a relationship and say, I want to be married by 30, and push that.
And then what happens? You just go the other way?
For me, if someone said that,
yes.
I don't necessarily think I'll go the other way. I would probably ignore it.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about, but you keep going, you know. But anyway, yeah.
Just change the subject.
Change the subject, yeah.
Oh, you want to get married? Oh, okay. Let me go put some gas in your car.
Marriage seems, for me, marriage is very scary to me. It's very it's scary. I have so many friends that go through so much pain in marriage, and it seems very discouraging to be actually married. From seeing it in the relationship, seeing it transfer to how the kids are reacting and feeling, to the court system, it just seems very discouraging, for sure.
But actually, it's not the marriage itself; it's the people in the marriage.
For those particular people, so out of 10 of my friends, 10 out of 10. So for me, I look at the aspect of it's the marriage rather than the people. You see what I'm saying? Like, I get you say it's the people, but for me, it's the concept of the marriage also. I mean, just the ideal of it mentally for me.
Okay.
I'm gonna need a little bit more clarification on that. So what do you mean the concept of the idea of marriage? Like, what do you mean by that?
But just the marriage of like what it means. Like, I don't even know what it means like anymore. I've seen married people cheat on each other. I've seen married people talk bad about each other consistently.
Yeah.
And I mean, even relationships, it's like, plus it's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of seems like a lot of frustration.
So if you listen to what you're saying I see a lot of people cheat on each other. So it's the people.
Yeah.
It's not the concept itself, because honestly, a marriage is what you make it. In all honesty, it's really truly what you make it. Is what you and that person come up with to satisfy each other. It's being life partners. It's your decision. So if you want a bad marriage, you made that decision.
Okay. All right, let's look at it in this analogy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you're going to church and you around these people who are, compulsive liars, and they're just talk about each other, they gossip about each other. So then you would say it's not the religion, it's the people. Well, if it's me, I don't want to be a part of the religion that they in at all.
Yeah, I can understand that concept.
See, that's what I mean.
But the thing about it is, it's still an individual choice to me. Now, this is just my personal, because the thing is technically not the religion, it's the people in the religion.
Yeah.
So it's not the religion itself. So I really can't be mad at the religion or dislike the religion, but I'm disliking the concept, the people that have portrayed the religion, because they just portraying it. But if you get the true meaning of whatever that religion is, of the marriage, and have a person to do it with the way you all agreed upon it, your outlook will be totally different.
Understand.
Also, like saying how we, as, for an example, Black people, we don't want to be stereotyped because of what other Black people do, right? How a group of Black people can give a bad rep or a bad name to all Black people. And so as the individuals, we don't want to be grouped together with this, with someone else or these other groups of people who are doing something, because if we know that we're not like that, if we know we didn't play a part in that, if we know that we had nothing to do with that, would that be fair? So it's kind of like the same concept when it comes to marriage, when it comes to religion, when it comes to being a parent, when it comes to being a Black male, when it comes to being a Black female, whatever the case is, just having the understanding of the mindset that, okay, just because this group of people who happen to be in this situation, i.e. a marriage, just because their situation didn't work and I'm seeing all the turmoil that they're going through, it doesn't mean that that's what marriage is all about.
Right.
So it's, yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I think that same example can be used for people that's in a committed relationship too. Like they don't
Yes.
necessarily have to be married, but you've been in a relationship with somebody for like 7, 10 years or whatever. Um, Same principle can be the same thing too, because there are some people that don't want to get married, but they're in a long-term
Right. It
relationship.
is.
So
Different.
it'll be the same principle. Like people in the way that I guess certain people in the way that they view the relationship in general as a whole and how it
Right.
works.
Right.
I think if you break it down, human nature is for us to respond the way that we want to respond to certain things. Um, so when you get into a relationship with someone else, obviously they're gonna have a difference of opinion. Obviously, that's the obvious answer. So that means that if you have a difference of opinion and the other person have a difference of opinion, the format of a relationship is to compromise.
Hmm.
Because if there's no compromise, you're just gonna be two rams hitting each other the whole time in a relationship. You're just gonna be doing this the whole time. That's all you're gonna be doing. Because
Right.
nobody's winning
Okay.
and everybody's losing.
Everybody is losing.
I'm just-
So okay, so as far as marriage, so can we tie in like finding your soulmate and then tying that to marriage, right? You know what I mean? It's like, how do you know when you meet your soulmate compared to someone you marry? That's tough.
I mean, you would have to believe in the concept of soulmates. Like that's the thing. That's basically
So,
saying that there's a person out there in this whole entire world that was made specifically for you, right? Like that's a hard concept to actually believe because everybody is made in a unique way. Like everybody's uniquely different.
yeah.
And I mean, like I said, the concept of relationships is for two people to make that one relationship to work, but in a reciprocal way.
Mhm.
That's the concept of a relationship.
So you believe in soulmates? Hmm.
No.
Okay.
I believe in both parties choosing to make a relationship work. Like that's my concept of that. Because like I said, when you get into a relationship with somebody, um, you're choosing to pretty much give your heart to someone else. And you're trusting that they won't destroy you in the process of you trusting that person. So being in a relationship is a leap of faith. Like it is, because there's no guarantee that that relationship is actually going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that each time you enter into a relationship like that, I mean, you're basically signing on the dotted line that you're willing to take that risk with another person. That's basically what you're saying.
No soulmate though.
But no, I mean, I don't personally, but I know that there are people that do believe in that whole thing, which is fine. But uh, whenever you, depending on which your dynamic of your relationship is, you need to go in that particular relationship fully knowing what you're getting into. That's just that's just my opinion. You know,
Okay.
who am I? You know, I don't
Do you all believe in soulmates? Do you two believe in soulmates?
Aphrodite, you believe in soulmate? Huh? You believe in that?
Oh, I did a long time ago, but nah, not no more. Like when I was a little younger, I was like, oh my God, my soulmate's gonna find me, yada yada yada. Nah, yeah, life taught me it's okay. No. Life taught me a different perspective, so I'm good.
Okay.
How about you? Do you believe in a soulmate? Huh? You believe in it?
So my beliefs are that it's very similar to yours, Josh, where, there's billions of people here on this earth. And out of that, when it comes to marrying and choosing a spouse, it's just that it's a choice. So because that choice is in our hands and we are exposed to so many different people, we interact and cross paths with so many different people, is there that one person Could it be? Sure, but realistically, is there just this one person that was born for you? In my opinion, no, because then that takes away your choice.
Mm.
And I'm big on believing what the word says, that God gives us choice.
Okay. So, do you believe in soulmate? Is that your concept?
I don't believe everybody got a soul, so no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Okay.
One way of looking
Yeah.
at it.
What'd you say, Josh?
I said that's one way of looking at it, I guess. I mean, how do you follow that? It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to follow. When somebody say that, it's kind of hard to follow that, right? Like,
yeah, you just leave that one right there.
It is.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, okay. Somebody say, hey, I don't believe everybody have a soul. I think, okay, like, what do you follow that with? Like,
Bro, like I'm happy you're the host because I had nothing.
Nothing. Zero.
Nothing.
Like, you don't agree, you don't disagree, you just like you're in the middle. Like it's like a neutral standpoint. Like, like, oh man.
It doesn't need any context.
I wasn't trying to get. I mean, honestly, I was just gonna sit up here and stare at you like this. Like, that's the next. That's the only thing I can do.
Oh, that's funny.
But I mean, but
No,
that's
I don't though. Sorry, I don't.
Okay.
Like you all said, there's a billion people. So if you are living in the U.S. and your soulmate is in India, how do you know, right? So, I mean, I don't know.
Oh goodness.
I mean,
It's a good day. Okay.
It is.
It is.
Good day. Darn good conversation.
Yes, of course.
But back to what we were kind of talking about though, like how long is too long? Honestly, that's always gonna be. I think that question that we pose is actually gonna be a question mark moment for a lot of people because it's like you don't know. Like there's not a magic number for when you're gonna be ready to commit to another person. Like commit to either a relationship, marriage. It's just hard. It's hard to. That's a hard thing to decipher.
But I think you should be reasonable, right?
On average.
Yeah, it should be reasonable. Kind of have some values in line, just of what you want. Make it make sense. Ask questions and determine.
But when do those questions come in though? Like
I'll go to counseling, right? Go to counseling and some therapy too. Add that in there.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I was gonna plug premarital, but I mean, it's a little, I was just going just a little bit like.
But premarital, I've never heard someone go into like a relationship counseling before a relationship. That's different.
What do you mean?
Like doing relationship counseling before a relationship. That's different.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
You mean
the concept of it? Yeah.
You mean before you enter into a committed relationship with another person, both parties go to see a counselor?
Yeah. I like that. That's cool.
Why not? You do it before you go see a premarital counselor before you get into a marriage.
I think a relationship is a step into marriage. I think there should be steps.
Josh, I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at y'all. I'm laughing at
because Josh can't keep it together. Josh like, nah, man, nah. Josh, you never had like in your industry. You like, are they already in a committed relationship when they come to you?
That's a requirement. That's a requirement.
Yes.
That is a requirement because going to a counselor of sorts it's an investment in a relationship. Like it's already an investment in a relationship.
Well, they invested before they get there, so they can make sure.
They two people that share the Uber pool or Uber X that just got there to the counseling thing. Like there's no.
I wouldn't necessarily say. I wouldn't say, oh, we just met 5 seconds ago.
Okay,
Let's
so
go
that's
over
what
here
I'm
to
saying.
the counselor
That's what
and make
saying.
sure we perfect for each. Like we good with each other. I wouldn't say that.
Okay, so what?
I would
what
be something more like they dated each other not in a committee, but they dated for whatever amount of time. And you know what I'm saying? Maybe it was certain things before they got into that committed relationship that they really wanted to hash out with a counselor. Okay. Now I would probably put it like that.
Okay.
But no, I just met you in no Uber and we about to go over here to the counselor.
That's what I'm saying. Because that's where I was leading towards. I'm like,
no.
It didn't make sense.
I'm not really sure. Now I'm not sure if Black Egypt was going there, but that's not what I was.
No,
because I was confused. Like,
okay, this is perspective. Let's say you have 2 adults. All right. Well, yeah, let's say they're adults. They're male and female, right? And they've been in church their whole life and they're virgins, and they need some type of guidance from a coach, a leadership person besides their parents, can kind of help them understand what they're getting into. That's what I mean, like a young teenager who, oh, I like this person, they like me, but we need some type of but professional help. That's what I was thinking about. It's just an idea. I've never seen it, and I think that there may be a white space for that. That's all.
Okay.
I would try it. I'm thinking about like it probably would have helped me a whole lot. That's all.
Okay. It probably would have helped a lot of committed relationships before they decided to go down in the dumps. Mm-hmm. So I can see that a little bit.
I'm trying to see it. Okay. I'm not gonna sugarcoat. I'm trying to see it, right? Like I'm trying to make it make sense in my head, right? That's what I'm trying to do. Okay.
But it's the same concept. Only thing about it is that they're getting it into a committed relationship versus getting into a marriage. Like when they come get premarital counseling for you, they've been in a committed relationship for a minute, right? Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So they're dating. We're just gonna hypothetically say they dating for like 3-4 months and decide, well, we really truly want to make this a committed relationship. But in the midst of dating, they might have found out like, oh man, I don't know, some whatever. And they just need the counseling ahead of time to when they get in it, they can move forward to try to say they want marriage and everything else. But it's just ahead of time. That's all.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out what are they trying to establish though, because you said that the 2 people would be dating, right?
Yeah, because you date don't mean you're in a committed relationship.
Okay, that kind of defeats the purpose of going to like some type of counseling because of the fact that there has to be some level of commitment between the 2 people already. So if they're dating, okay, so if you're going from what his standpoint is, if they're going to couples counseling or whatever, but they're dating, but they're also dating other people as well, right? That's what I mean. So if they're dating each other, but they also are open to dating other people as well, then I don't know what the draw would be for them 2 going to like couples counseling if they're still open to dating other people too.
But that's why they came to an agreement that they wanted to be in a committed relationship after dating, right? But
there's commitment before they actually
they're gonna get right. Like they probably got some. I don't know.
See, that's what I mean. I
can see the concept of it. I just don't know the whole full system of it. But I do understand what he's saying because you do understand that like when even in committed relationships, like if you had some type of guidance ahead of time, a lot of the decisions or the choices you made, you might not have done that had you had prior guidance.
Uh-huh.
So I can understand where he's coming from.
Yeah. I honestly, there's no right or wrong answer here. I was just trying to make sense of it for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I was trying to make sense of it, right? Because it's a very interesting concept. I guess I was just trying to figure out more details to it so I can just kind of make it
Make it
make
work.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Understood.
Yeah. How about you, Miss Andrews? You just it's making it makes sense. Like you shaking your head, you're like
No, so I get both perspectives. I get yours, Josh, and then I get Aphrodite's in Black Egypt. So Josh, in your perspective, I had the same thought that two people who are just in the process of simply getting to know each other, who have not committed to each other yet, they typically don't go to get premarital counseling or any sort of counseling or relationship therapy. Because if they haven't yet committed to each other. But then I also understand what Aphrodite and Black Egypt are saying, especially Black Egypt in a sense of, as a high school student or as a young adult, if you had someone other than your parents who you could go to get some really good advice on relationships, on matters of the heart, then that could be an amazing thing. And I agree there 100%, because like Aphrodite was saying, if at the earliest age of when people start to date, of when people start to get into these relationships, if they had a professional of some sort to help them navigate it, then there would be a lot less heartbreak, there would be a lot less damage being done, there would be a lot less emotional turmoil that's going on, because people would then be given the tools at a much earlier age. So I do understand that as well.
so my thing is what is the benefit for waiting to be in a committed relationship? Is there a benefit for waiting to be in a committed relationship or marriage? Like, is there a benefit to doing that? Like just waiting, right?
Like waiting and getting to know a person, or waiting as a single person?
Like as a person that is in a committed relationship,
Okay.
and they are not at that point yet, is there a benefit for them doing that?
Sure, not to rush into a legally binding marriage. Yeah, for sure. Not rushing into anything, because rushing, in my opinion, is one of the detriments of a lot of marriages going downhill, because they didn't take the time to truly get to know each other before saying I do. Because if people take more time to get to know their partner, then they would be able to see more of that person's character. They would be able to see more of that person's actions and their reactions, to see if they have a temper or not, to see, what their love languages are, to just learn more about them other than this basic surface stuff that, we get butterflies and, in our stomach about, and we think that, oh my gosh, this is the best person ever. No, take your time and continue to get to know that person deeper, ask those questions. There are definitely benefits to waiting, but then how long do you wait? That's the question.
So would you consider how long you wait as a con, like as a negative thing, depending on how long a person waits? Is that like a negative thing?
So for me, the way that I see it is, and this is something that I learned years ago, at minimum, and this is in general, this is based off of how the average person gets to know an individual when they're committed to them. In general, I've learned that it's best to get to know someone throughout an entire year, because there's 4 seasons in a year, and each season itself is going to bring out different traits from that person. And so if people can at least give it an entire year to see who they're dating within those 4 different changes of elements and atmospheres and the environment, then that could be a great first step help. However, I don't believe that has to be the standard for every relationship, because if both people in that relationship are very intentional and very intense on getting to know each other on those deeper levels at a quicker rate, so to speak, it doesn't take that long if they're being very intentional about the questions that they ask, about the time that they're spending around each other, about just learning those different nuances. It doesn't necessarily have to take a whole year, but a year is a good standard timeline. For me personally, anything over a year, year and a half, 2 at the most, then it's I'm not going to marry that person, because for me, the way that I ask questions, the way that I date a person, I learn if they're for me or not within the first few weeks, maybe within the first few months, because I'm very direct with how I ask my questions, but not in a militant way. But I do ask, like I dig deep. I ask the questions that most people don't want to ask. And I just go from there because I don't want to waste time. And I've learned that you don't have to waste all of that time to simply get to know a person. And I've learned to also allow a person to show me who they are and believe who they have shown me that they are, and then go from there. Because it's often that, we'll see certain things about a person and we'll just accept it, or we'll look over it, or we'll say, okay, well, I'm not worried about that, or I'll forgive that because I like this part of them so much. And it ends up, going downhill. So it's a couple of different layers in there. You have to know you enough to know what you need, what your timeline is, and then you'll be able to make your decision from there.
Yeah. I agree with her.
I think so too.
I
Josh,
do.
you look.
No, it wasn't that. It was that last part you said.
What?
And I was like, if I get interviewed for a job interview or something, like you was like very precise. Like I can tell, like whenever you're talking to like potential suitors and stuff like that, man, I know they probably feel like
No, see, that's why I specifically said it's not in a militant fashion. Within myself, I am asking direct questions, but I'm asking it in a way of where it would be received, where they don't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting in a hot seat. Like,
yeah.
There's a way to do it.
It is a way to do it.
There's a way to do it.
That's the first thing I thought. I'm like, dang, man.
I know,
like,
and that's why I said
run my credit score too. Like,
I think you should. You don't have to do it with, you don't. Listen. If y'all get that far, y'all need to talk about credit and everything else.
Exactly.
Those are questions, like those are conversations.
Right, I get it.
If you're moving into a marriage or a real, true, committed relationship, but eventually y'all know it's about to end up in marriage, no, those are conversations we need to have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would see that. I mean, honestly, I think that. Do you think that when sex should be given is a conversation too?
Yeah.
Everything. If you're trying to make a decision on if you want to spend your life with someone, then you need to talk about everything.
No, but I'm talking about before you commit though, because the main question of this whole entire thing was, is there a time limit on when you take that next step, right?
Okay.
Like when you take that next step, either whether you take that next step in marriage or you take that next step to commit in a committed relationship standpoint, right?
Right.
So when you're taking this next step, sex is swirling all around in those decisions too, but people don't talk about it, right? Because some people are very visual. You know what I'm saying? Like some people allow the visuals to influence decision making. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So,
but we all grown up in here, so like, because sex is part of the conversation. Yes. I'm sure when Nrgy is doing her thing in her interview, somehow she don't put sex in the conversation and ask them like how they feel about sex. Do you think? Like I'm sure she has.
That's on line 15 or 16.
Yes, somewhere in the mix. Like
y'all just have to be a part of one of my conversations, because I promise in my mind it's very organized
Yeah.
very straightforward.
No, I
and
can
he
believe
comes
it
out
because
No, I
that's how you
believe you.
approach things. I can believe it.
but it's
I
very
believe
And
you.
the thing about it
conversational.
is, I like how she put the concept is it's not militant, but I'm gonna get my answer to
Yeah.
for me to be fulfilled to where I need to be. You know what I'm saying? Like we not wasting 2 years
Right.
on something that it could take 2 days. Like we're not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
No, because of why? I'm afraid of what they're gonna say, and I'm afraid that maybe they're gonna give me an answer that I don't want to hear, and so I don't want to risk losing them. Like, nah, I need to know up front. You need to know up front. So therefore, we respect each other's time because we are not promised tomorrow. So anybody got time for this? Mm-mm.
What you laughing at?
What's wrong? Okay, you all right?
It's just funny. It's
You're
just
right.
funny conversation. It's funny.
What?
It's just funny.
Hey, it's just
Just like
the
speed
opinion.
that they want to speed
You know?
this date up.
I was just visualizing everything. That's all. Because if somebody did that to me, and you said it was number 16, and we at the table and we're drinking, I'd be choking. I don't care how it come out. What?
Josh, you are not helping in this situation at all.
What?
You got him visualizing something that is not true.
Like,
What? Nah, hey, I was just running the scenario. I didn't say it was true, right? I didn't say it was
wait,
true.
what happened?
Like, what number are we at?
No. So let me clear this up right now.
nervous?
Hold up.
Like I'm sweating. I'm sweating.
up.
Okay.
No,
Energy, they don't mess it all up. They
I
mess it all
know.
up.
No, we ain't about to let this happen. Not today. No. Hold on, Josh. Hold up.
That's funny.
So this is the thing. From day one's episodes that we've recorded, I've always said, know yourself, know your values, know your worth, know your non-negotiables. When you know all of those things like second nature, you can have conversations that are direct within yourself, but are very indirect and allow a person to answer it in, in their manner to where they feel comfortable, to where it's a conversation. But yet in the way that you ask questions, you still get the answers that you need to get without having to be, hey, what about this? Okay, what do you think about this? Like, that's not how I am. The way that I ask questions, I actually make people feel really comfortable so they can share who they truly are, because I want them to be who they truly are in order for me to truly get to know the real person. But because I know myself so well and I know my values and things like that, I can tweak my conversations on the fly and roll with the punches and still get the answer that I need based off of just them, spilling information about their past or about, their likes or their dislikes. I'm getting my answers just simply from their conversation. So yeah, when you know yourself, it doesn't take long.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Like it does. Like, so don't get me wrong, right? Like
it does.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Right? Like
it's the energy.
I mean,
EJ over there trying to figure out how he gonna school this thing the way it's good.
You're right. Okay, he over here trying to flip it. Like you're right.
Black energy, like we already talked about committed. Let's see.
Right.
We ruled out soulmate, so this gonna work for me. Like this part work for me.
Come on with it.
Come
on with it.
I still see the militants. I still see it.
I know, but see, we only have so much time on this podcast. Like, I can't give you everything, so I have to just be straight with my answers.
Hey, honestly, your answer was fine. Okay, ain't nobody judging you for your answer. Okay, because all of our answers are different anyway. Like it's not, it's not the point. It's not the point at all. It's really not. The thing about it is, I mean, the thing about it is just giving people a different perspective, like a different side of it. That's all it is. And like I said, we all have our sides to, this coin. Like we all have our sides. But I think that, I guess to summarize this whole thing, because we do have to kind of get to a summary here. Like, I think the main consensus of everybody here is that we have varying opinions about time frame, right? Like, is there a time frame to move to that next step? And I think that even asking that question is a question that I guess people need to ask themselves, right? Like, am I ready for this? Like, am I ready for this next step? Am I ready to, change my mindset on how I feel about that next step? Like, am I really truly committed to doing the right things and being consistent, and making sure that I'm doing my part to make someone else happy? Like, that's a question I think that most people need to just ask themselves before they even take that next step, because asking yourself that question once you're there is kind of pointless. Like, it's too late. Like, you can't tell somebody, hey, let's be in a relationship or let's be in a marriage, but I'm not ready. I mean, it's too late. You didn't, I mean, you committed now. Like, you can't go backwards.
Right.
And like I said, I think that, I mean, to me, that's my take on that. You gotta make sure that you're there already. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to the other person. That's why. Don't do it. Right.
So
So
I'm just gonna go to Coach Energy. Like, I just advise him to go to Coach Energy. Like, she got it. Like,
man.
it just made all sense to me. Like, yeah.
It did.
Yeah,
I mean,
it did.
Yes.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Maybe that's why we said before you get into that committed relationship, we can go to like Coach Energy to have these conversations. Then we'll know, like, well, now we're gonna even go there. So yeah, Coach Energy, yeah, like I just advise y'all to follow to beat her because she got it.
Listen,
That's it.
if
Like,
I,
we
if
don't
I
even
was,
need, we don't
listen,
even need to say anything else. Like,
if I
that's
was
a done
17,
deal.
if I was 16, 17 years old and I went to Coach Energy and was trying to figure something out, listen, I'd be terrified. I'd be like, listen, it's too much. I know me at 17, I would be like, I was like, what?
Hey,
you're not negotiable? What?
Hey, okay. What honestly, if you think about it though, what she's saying is honestly what people need to hear though. I ain't gonna lie, right? Like, what she's saying and the way that she's saying it is what people need to hear, especially men, to be fair, okay? But sometimes us as men, we're a little tricky, right? Like, we're a little tricky when it comes to our emotions and how we feel about certain things. So if we're not asked direct questions sometimes, then you're not gonna get a direct answer. Like, I think that's kind of,
that's true. Because men tend to be like, you ain't asked that question, so you ain't get no answer.
See, there you go.
You know what I'm saying? And I be looking like, oh, I ain't know, like, it wasn't a direct like question or what? No. So yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, right? Like, her method is, it's a little unconventional. It's unconventional, but it works. Like, it does. It does. Like, I like it. Like, I actually do. Like, I was just poking fun at it because it's like a 16-point plan. But I was just, but it was good. It was good though.
See how good it was, because he even had you thinking. Like, hey, come on now, you was like, damn, like,
come on, okay. It got me thinking. Listen, no, I agree with Energy. But the most important thing she said was knowing yourself. That's what I got, right? Because we're trying to figure out timing, and so you're thinking about, do I rush? Do I have patience? Because even when you're in a relationship, you're still learning yourself. So it's different scenarios for different people. But I think the biggest point is to know who you are, right? Like Energy said. I think that's the key to it all, because I think Energy should create like some lists that, if you don't already have it, that shows like direct questions for people to answer as a step, right? As a stepping process. Because when you first said non-negotiables in our group, I was like, dang, I don't really know mine, right? But I don't even know the right questions to ask myself necessarily about non-negotiables. So I think that's just something cool. So I thought about that.
That's your next coaching class, Energy.
Right. My closing, I'm ready. So my closing, right? As a person and as a coach, I'm glad that you brought something up, Black Egypt, when you were talking about if you were that 17-year-old and I was speaking to you, then you would be like, whoa, even adults, as I was speaking here on this particular platform and answering the questions in the manner of what I was doing. One thing about me is I'm very cognizant and know the DISC personalities very well, the D, the I, the S, and the C. And so basically when I'm speaking to that 17-year-old person, then I know how to speak. I know how I need to adjust my voice. I know how I need to adjust my body language and, adjust my eye contact and what words and terms and phrases to use in order to create that rapport, create that likability, that trust factor. When I'm speaking to an adult male, I know, and based off of their personality style, if they are a D, an I, an S, or a C, then I know how to then have that conversation with them. Same thing with the female client. So it doesn't matter who you are. I know how to read a person enough to then know my conversation style with them, the way that I need to talk, if I need to soften my voice or if I need to be more direct. Then from there, they're able to receive what it is that I have to say. And that goes as well, even in my personal life, whenever I'm meeting someone or getting to know someone on a personal level, and I'm, we're in that getting to know each other phase, then based off of me learning their personality style and their communication style, it allows me to have them feel comfortable. And I'm asking questions in a way that will be receptive to where they can answer it as they please. And then I'm still getting the information that I need, even without saying, I need to know this, this, and this. So there is, like I said, it's a lot of layers to it. There is a methodology behind it, but it definitely does work. So yes, hopefully that helps y'all understand a little bit more of where I was coming from. But it's all about, for me, it's all about saving time. I'm big on time. I'm big on, as you get older, you start to see patterns in people, you start to see patterns in human and their behavior. And then you start to see patterns within yourself to where there's just certain things that you don't have to waste as much time on in order to get where you need to get. And for me, it also applies to relationships and possible marriage. Like, I've gone through enough. I've experienced a lot of crap to where it's like, okay, I know when I see this, I know that that's not for me. And I know when I see this, it's like, okay, that's something that I'm looking more, for. And so I know where to put my time and what type of person to put more of my time in. So yeah, it's a process, but yeah, I appreciate it. This is Coach Nrgy. I am done speaking.
Well said. I tell you, well said. So this has been another great episode of Adding Perspective with Josh. I'm Josh.
Coach Nrgy.
Aphrodite.
Black Egypt.